Okay. Today I'm going to make a few different things. I'm making some baked chicken breast. I'm going to make a celery and romaine salad. And I'm also going to make just a quick little rice pasta thing with broccoli. And it's one of these things, but I'm just going to doctor it up a little bit and show you how I do it. But we're going to start with the salad and then we're going to go from there. So far I have chopped up probably about half to a 3/4 bunch of celery. Some of it was already pulled off, but I chopped up the rest of it. So I'm going to say this is probably 3/4 a bunch of celery. So chopped it up, just you can see, and I even included in the middle of the celery bunch how there's that like heart of celery, they call it, and it's got some leaves and it's the really tender good part, the little short pieces that are just right in the center. Well, I took that little bit and I went ahead and chopped the leaves too, because that always adds, so I feel like there's a little bit of flavor in those leaves. So anyway, I added that in. And so now I'm going to put in the rest of the stuff and I'll show you what we do from there. Okay, so in the pantry I had a fruit and nut salad topping mix. It's basically, I think, the H-E-B, maybe the Walmart brand, one of those, where you get like the pecans and the cranberries and dates and I don't know what else in here. But it's just a nice little mix and I already had it. And so I'm going to add that in. So I'm going to say that's about probably, that's about a half a cup. So I'm going to toss this in. Then I have some additional just dried cranberries and I'm going to toss probably, I'm going to say 2 good handfuls. All right, so I put those in, dried cranberries. And even though that nut and salad topping mix had cranberries in it, I always like a little bit more. So you have those 2 things. Now, I'm not going to need these because I've got enough in there, but I had bought this thinking I might use this. It's just one of those little cranberry blend trail mix. It's got a little bit of everything, raisins, cranberries, peanuts, all, you know, like that's a good little thing you could have thrown in there. I also had just some regular like chopped pecans and I could have thrown those in there, but I'm not going to need them because that topping that I put in there had plenty of different types of nuts and pecans and that kind of thing. So we're good with this. So I'm going to get the other stuff that I need and I'll be back. Okay, so now I'm going to make the dressing that I like to put on this salad. It's kind of a few random items. It probably sounds really weird, but it's going to be really good. I don't really measure. I just know what it kind of should like smell and taste like, but I'm going to try to demonstrate kind of what I think it should be. So first of all, lemon juice. I'm going to say let's say 1, 2, oh, you can't see me, I'm sorry. Right there. So I did 2, I was doing capfuls. So 2, let's say 3, 4. So I did 4 capfuls of lemon juice. If I had real lemon, I would use it, but I don't, so I'm using this. Then I'm gonna do a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Not much, just a little. I'm gonna say 2 capfuls of this. And as you noticed, I wasn't sitting there like really measuring it and making sure it was an exact cap full. I just kind of pour and dump, so it doesn't have to be exact. It'll be fine. I got those in there. And then I'm gonna do some black pepper. I like to use the coarse brown or coarse ground black pepper because I like to taste my pepper, and I like it to seem more like I'm using, you know, the little grinder thing, and I could do that. I've got the grinder, but this is just easier, and I can just shake this in and be done. And so I'm gonna say you saw how much I shook, and I'm gonna say that looks like probably a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more. So I just like to shake it in there and kind of give everything a good coating. So there's that. Then I'm gonna take salt, and I'm gonna do the same thing. Just kind of shake it in there, everything's coated good. And that's probably a teaspoon. Then I'm gonna take olive oil. This is probably about a half a cup. Maybe. Yeah, it's probably at least half a cup. So I'm gonna pour this in. I'm gonna take a look at it. I may not need it all. I'm gonna stir this first. I probably only used half of that half, so I guess a quarter, maybe a little more than a quarter. But I'm gonna stir this and kind of see how it looks. And then if it's coated really well, I'll leave it alone, but I might add more. So let me stir it and I'll come back. Okay, so that wasn't enough olive oil. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off. So I'm gonna say that was at least half to 3/4. Kind of really depends on how much you like your salad to be coated. I like it to have a good coating. Some people like it more dry, some people like it more wet. But I'm definitely, I like it more wet. I want to taste more dressing. So I've got all of that in. I'm gonna keep stirring this, and then I'm gonna let it set. And then it's just gonna get better with all those flavors melding. If I had them, I'd like to add a little bit of red onion also, just for like, just a little contrast in there. I don't have any red onion though. Green onion would probably even be good, but I don't have any of that either. So today will not be onion. So basically we have the celery, the different kinds of nuts and pecans and cranberries, and then that little bit of dressing that I made. I'm gonna let this all sit, and then right before serving, I'm gonna throw in a little romaine lettuce just to add more texture and a little more, makes it go a little further than just this. And then, like I said, if I had red onion, I would throw it in there just a little bit, like maybe half an onion chopped up really fine. But since I don't, tonight will be a little different. But that's basically it. And then once I stir the romaine in later, I'll let you take a look and see how that looks. One more thing I forgot to tell you. I also like to throw in feta and Parmesan. So a little of both just adds a little more oomph to the whole thing. So some people like it with blue cheese. I would like it with blue cheese, but nobody else in the family likes blue cheese really. So I'm gonna do feta and Parmesan. But I'm gonna toss these in too. Go ahead and let them be in the flavor mixture. And again, I'll be back once I add the romaine. I know I said I wouldn't come back until I stirred in the romaine, but I thought I'd just let you see what it looks like with the cheeses and everything in it all stirred up. It's already looking really good. I tasted it. It's pretty darn yummy. So we're gonna let this sit until dinner time. Right before dinner, I'll throw in the romaine and toss it up. It should be extra good. Okay, now it's later and that salad is still sitting. I have not added the romaine yet, obviously. That's right before dinner. But now moving on to the baked chicken that I'm gonna do. And the way I like to do this particular chicken, these are just chicken breasts laid out on a pan. The pan has been sprayed with butter spray like Pam or the store brand, it doesn't matter, but it's a butter spray. On each piece of chicken, I'm gonna shoot a little bit of this Duke's mayonnaise, and then I'm gonna use this brush and like spread it all out over the chicken, nice, like a thin layer. And then I'll come back and show you what I put on top of that. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so real quick, let me show you. So here is the chicken. You can see every piece is nice and slathered up with that Duke's mayonnaise. And then, so now on top of that Duke's mayonnaise, I made my little mixture that I did in my very first video about the like broccoli, cheese, rice, and chicken casserole. And this is where I do a cup of panko, a cup of cheese, grated cheese, any kind of cheddar mix. This is the Mexican style cheese, but you could pretty much use anything as long as it has cheddar in it. So a cup of the cheese, cup of panko, a half a stick of butter melted, and then probably like 2 tablespoons of parsley, dried parsley. So I have that all mixed up again where it's nice and crumbly. So then now I'm going to salt, pepper, use garlic powder and onion powder on all these breasts first. So I'm going to season them up really good with all these seasonings, and then I'm going to put that crumble mixture on top of each piece of chicken, and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Just wanted to show you all the pieces of chicken, nice and crumbly. Got all the good crumble on top of them. I'm gonna pop these in the 400-degree oven for about 30 minutes. The tops will be nice and brown and crispy. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll be back to show you the last dish I'm gonna prepare. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. So I just mixed this up. So what I did on the back, it shows like microwave directions. I followed the microwave directions, and I'm putting it in, this is like a 9x13 casserole dish. And I used 3 of these because I'm feeding more people. So I've got 3 of these, followed the directions on the back for the microwave, and I'm stirring the water and the butter, and I'm stirring it all in really good. And then I've got some broccoli that I have some fresh broccoli that I'm gonna pull out. In fact, I'll go ahead and pull that out and show it to you just a moment. Okay, so this is the broccoli florets. It's from H-E-B. It's the one in the produce section. It says it's already washed, trimmed, and ready to eat. As you can see, I've got about a half a bag left. I'm gonna chop these up smaller than they are because these are like the big florets. So I'm gonna chop these up. I'm gonna see if I can use the whole bag. If it's too much, maybe I'll just use 3/4 of what's left. I shouldn't say the whole bag, but 3/4 of this half of bag. And so I'm gonna chop it up, kind of see how it looks, and then I'll let you know, but I'm gonna mix that in with this. I think that'll just add more texture, plus more flavor, plus more, you know, good veggies and vitamins. So it makes it more of a complete casserole. So let me chop these up and add what I can, and I'll come back and let you know how much I was able to put in there. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I ended up probably only using half of that half a bag of broccoli. So this is what it looks like now. You can see it's got a good amount of broccoli in there. Of course, it's kind of floating to the top just because there's a lot of liquid in here, as you can see. But as it bakes, all the rice and then the pasta that's in this dish will cook up around it, and the cheese sauce and everything else. So it's just kind of a quick way to make like a broccoli cheese rice casserole. But this is one of those where it's like the rice and pasta blend. So what do they call it? Like the rice-a-roni kind of thing. But so that's in there too. So it's a good filling side. So anyway, I'm gonna bake this. Actually, I take that back. So the microwave recipe on the back of the package says 12 minutes in the microwave well, that's for one package. So I assume with 3 packages, and this is so big, it might even need 20. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start at like 10 minutes, maybe 7 to 10 minutes. I'm just gonna keep my eyes on it in the microwave. Then when I see that it's starting to really like thicken up, I'm gonna take the rest of this crumble that I had left over from the chicken. I'm gonna put it on top of this casserole and then finish it in the oven. The reason why I'm not putting that on top right now, this is too liquidy. That will just end up sinking in or getting soggy or whatever. I want this to thicken up and basically be pretty much cooked. Then I'll add the crumble, finish it off in the oven just to basically finish the rice and brown the crumble. So I'm gonna stick this in the microwave first, like I said, do that bit, and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So here's the casserole. Let me show you. See how it doesn't jiggle now? So it's like firming up really well. So I put the rest of that crumble on here, as you can see. Pop it back in the oven, still at 400. I'm cooking it at the same time with the chicken. As the chicken is finishing up, I'm gonna finish this off. Actually, I know I told you before I left, I put it in the microwave. Well, this pan was too big for the microwave. So I actually ended up putting it in the oven and just cooking it like a regular casserole. And it's been in there on 400 underneath the chicken. I had them both in there at the same time. 15 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes. So it's kind of solid now, or getting there. So crumble is on. I'm going to put it back in. I'm thinking another 10 to 15 minutes, and then everything should be done. I'm going to finish off that salad, and I'll be back to show you the final product. All right, so the chicken is done. Look how crunchy, crispy that is. And just looks so yummy and smells so good. So the chicken's done. Still waiting on that broccoli, cheese, and rice casserole. Probably, I don't know, 10 more minutes or so. So now I have that celery mix that's been sitting all day, getting nice and marinated basically. I'm about to chop up this romaine. I'm gonna chop this up, toss it in with that celery, and then that's done. And that can sit until the broccoli rice casserole is done. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, I'm back. I've stirred in a little bit of romaine. There's still plenty of celery, so it's gonna have that good crunch. But I've got romaine in there too, just to spread it a little further. So this is done. I'm just gonna let it sit. Still waiting on that casserole. And then once that's done, we'll be able to eat. I'll be back. Okay, casserole is ready. As you can see, it also is nice and brown. So we've got that, and get the towel out. We've got the salad. That's all nice and ready. And then of course the chicken. So we're gonna dish it up and it's time to eat. I'll attach a picture of the final product. Enjoy.